Yes, my name is Aireen Vargas. I am a group fitness instructor, personal trainer, and a fitness coach. And yeah, I am from Manila, Philippines. So, well, I grew up in Pasay. My parents are from both from Leyte, and I've been here. We moved to Canada when I was 16 years old. My mother, she wanted to have a better future. I think that's what most Filipino moms do. They migrate to, I think they start off Hong Kong or other countries in Asia to be able to move to Canada. So it was my mother first who moved, and we followed her because that's the whole plan. We were supposed to all move in together to Canada, and it only took like I think 2 years from Hong Kong to Canada to get her papers processed. Yeah, I was actually excited. So my mother already told us that we were leaving the country. I already knew at 15 or 14. So at that age, I was already mature. I know what was happening. I understand that, I was going to school, but that I might have to lose a year or so because from what I understood is that the system is not the same in Philippines and in Canada. So I was already aware and I was actually excited, and I'm excited. I've watched a lot of, American films, and I follow a lot of those. I think that at that time it was the Backstreet Boys. So I was very excited to be able to, move to Canada and be able to see them much sooner in person. It was also around the era of the Moffatts, that's what he called them, and they're Canadian. So I was like, oh, I'm happy. I'm gonna be able to, see where they go, and maybe be able to go see their concerts. So I was excited. Yeah, I was looking forward to moving to Canada and play with the snow. So I moved here when I was already 16. So I think half of my life already was in the Philippines. So I can associate. I think I would identify myself as a Filipino still, and half Canadian because I've been here as well for the same amount of time, almost 16 years. I'm turning 37, so I think almost 20 years in Canada, and yeah, I think I'm Filipino-Canadian, definitely. Interesting. I feel like it depends on the person. I feel like it's an aspect that one might say is a challenge, and then one might say it's like just the way it is. I think it's the way the person's perspective. I don't think I'm a positive person, so I don't think of it as a challenge. I just feel like any other nationality would have the same hard time or the struggles as we would if we were, Filipino Canadian or not. I think we would have the same struggles. That's my opinion. I don't think I've personally until now had any issues. I think recently what happened with the Taal incident, preserving my identity is, understanding how the people back home live, and with tragedies like this, you understand like the struggle they go through. So for me, being in touch with this identity allows me to move for a cause, like have a reason for the things that I do now. So we're grateful here in Canada. We're blessed to have a lot of support. I think that's just identifying with them, and then with what we can, we try to help. And I think that I'll be able to, hopefully we'll be able to keep that Filipino identity for as long as I can. One of my classes that are very much heavily Filipino based is the Zumba. So we have this Zumba community that is basically made out of a lot of Filipinos. Before that, probably not. Like when I was a student. So, you know, being a student, I was just busy minding my own business. I didn't really have any say or any interest in the whole Filipino community. I think I was just, you know, just minding my own business, learning my French, trying to finish my degree. And yeah, you're right. I wasn't really active in the community.
Were you settled in close to a Filipino community?
Oh yeah, we were living in Codinage area, and you know, Metro Plamondon. You get your foods at Kimar, and there's lots of Filipinos there, and we eat in the Filipino restaurants. But I wasn't very engaged. I think it's just because of the time and my age. Like I was just, you know, I was busy going to school, working. But now that I have more time to give to the community, I find myself, yeah, being involved, and I love it, and I hope to continue to do so. Yes, so I've been a Zumba instructor for almost 10 years now, and at one point I was working for a community center where there wasn't really many Filipinos, and another incident happened back home. I think it was the Yolanda. Because of this, people knew what was happening in the country. So people had an idea, oh, like, you know, Philippines existed, and there's this impact, and you know, there's someone who wants to help out. So I think that was one of the most proud moments, because like I said, like, there wasn't a lot of Filipinos in that community. So yeah, knowing, just having that awareness that there is something happening, and you know, people were actually donating. So that was really nice, even though they weren't, you know, they didn't know that this incident was happening. So yeah, I think that was a great moment.
And a memory that made you embarrassed?
Embarrassed? I don't know. I don't think I have anything so far, and thankfully we'll keep it that way. My most favorite Filipino thing? Oh, Filipino food. So I work out a lot, right? So obviously, as you know, as a fitness professional, that means I also need to eat a lot. And Filipino food always just hits the right spot. It just makes you feel satisfied, and it gives you enough juice and energy to go at it again. My least, oh my God, I think it's the chismis. It's the chismis. It's like, there's always something bad to say about someone. And I noticed that in almost, you know, like a lot of people, they will, unfortunately, it's like, I used to do it before too, because it's like a pastime. Like, oh, you know, this person, she's pregnant again, and like, what is she doing with her life? That kind of thing. You know, people, they do things, and things happen for a reason, or just sometimes it's just accident. It's none of our business. And yeah, I like I said, I used to do it before, but now, you know, like I'm realizing, you know, the chismes are going against me as well. So then I'm like, where is this all coming from? What's the basis? But you know what? Yeah, that's the least favorite thing. Oh yeah. Well, there's many people. I don't know all of their names by heart, but I salute all the Filipino entrepreneurs that we see around the Codinage area, you know, pushing with their businesses and really thriving, like you yourself as well, you know, leading the community to a better future. I think that's very inspiring because the market in Quebec is not very easy. So for us, for entrepreneurs to be able to go and follow their dreams is very inspiring. Going along the lines of me being a fitness instructor, I myself with a few of my other fitness entrepreneurs, we wanted to have like a community center that is primarily geared to helping Filipinos in the area, to just to have a place for us to gather and perform social common interests and common tasks, like a music school, like a dance school, a fitness center, or just a place to have a gathering, social gathering. And I think that's something that we're missing in the community. So hopefully we might be able to find one in 5 years from now or so. Yeah. Advice for future generations. Oh, learn the language. It's one thing to be able to connect with the people, because a lot of immigrants coming here do not speak English or French yet. So for us to be able to communicate with them, we also need to be able to have one language that we can communicate, but also to preserve our identity and keep us one, like be able to talk the same language that people don't understand. So if we want to make jokes, then we all get it, and yeah, learn the language.